Happy Sunday to you all. I hope you guys are all having a great weekend. Here's our weekly watch list video. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is breaking down NQ, and then we're going to break it down basically from top down. What we saw here on Friday, and then going into next week, what we can expect to see here, as this is Sunday, right into the first week of June here. So when we look at this from a shorter term perspective, into Monday's session, we get basically this slam lower off of news. We get this failure, this swing failure right here. We get this move lower. We come down, put in the higher low rally. Get this sell-off here, and then we get a really, really nice rally into the close here on Friday, basically from 21,100 all the way up into 21,400, so a 300-point rally here to close out the week off of this low here on NQ. Now, what exactly does this rally do on the daily chart? Well, this puts in a big topping or a bottoming tail here that looks something like this. So to me, this looks something that's going to be like this. Up, trending coming up here, and then we made it actually a new higher high here, so we broke this prior pivot. And now does this become that next series of a higher low here for this trend to continue? So over 21,388 tomorrow, targeting this 21,897.50. And where does this come from? This was this prior double high or double top rejection area. You can see all of these rejections. We attempted to break out, failed, and rolled over here. So watching this to form that higher low here, after we had this structure here, we get a very, very strong breakout bar right here. Holds, continues, puts in the higher low here, buy setup, pull back, trying to trigger a buy setup. Anything over this high here, it would not surprise me to see a daily bar that looks like this up into this 21,897.50. Now, from the weekly chart, how does that look? Well, if you guys have seen any other of our videos, this is simply just a 3-bar play. So we get an extremely aggressive move lower, put in the higher low, 3-bar play, 3-bar play. If we can open up right in here and get a move higher, this looks good. What I do not want to see is if all of a sudden on Monday we break this bar's low here, then I am not going to be looking for this long scenario, and instead looking for this to be the lower high off of here, and then roll over and test back down into this region down here. So that is going to be the watch. The key is going to be Monday, and 21,388 is going to be key, or below this last week's low, which is right around 29.5425. So that is going to be of my watch here this week on NQ. And when you look at it from a 4-hour chart, obviously we get this downtrend here. Now we're flipping into this uptrend here. Now the question becomes, was this just the false breakout here? So you can see we actually hit a really nice pop through. Boom, slam lower, and this had to do with news. So that is why this is here, because the pause on the EU tariffs. But we get that pop, we get that failure. So now if we can get back over here, I'm less likely to think that this is a false breakout, rather just a pullback to form a higher low for then that trend resumption higher. And that is my watch. We do have this untested level at 21,897.50 on any strength this week. I do think that this level does trade. The first move of, or the first watch of the week is, note how we're off highs on NQ. But what is Microsoft doing? Microsoft is rallying almost to all-time highs here. So that means that we have relative strength here on this name, as the markets aren't even close to their highs. They're like, what are they, 10% off or 8% off, something like that? Microsoft here is trying to break its high. And when we look at this, all this really is a period up followed by a period of consolidation for a potential in this next leg of this move. And for me, that happens over 462.66. So if we can go in from the weekly chart, we even look better here after doing something like this that broke this prior trend structure. We pulled back, and now we're trying to bounce and rally. And it would not surprise me to see us get new all-time highs here this week. And from the daily chart, again, We're flagging here over 462.66, watching long. Technically, we have untested overnight highs at 469.28. That would be the macro target here this week. So anything over that, looking for that trend resumption higher here. And from a shorter time frame perspective, you can see here, we're trending, ranging, now looking for this next leg of the trend in over 460.61. Ideally, the best setup would be over 462.66, then looking long here on this name this week. And NVIDIA, this is one that surprised me that we didn't bounce stronger on Friday, but it still has potential. We get this earnings spike, ends up just basically making this whole move back and profit taking. But what I really like on this one is all we end up doing is just washing out where this earnings spike happened. We wash it out by a few pennies. Let's see, what is the low of this bar? 133.25. And the intraday low here is 133.92. So actually we did wash it out a little bit. But what I like is we wash it out, and now we're quickly reclaiming higher here at a prior area of support. So for me on this one, anything over, ideally we'd cap over 138.69 tomorrow. I don't think that will happen unless futures get a big move. But we're trying to flip this trend here, and we get this move here, and now we're flipping, and now we're pulling back into a prior area of support. 135.26 holds, or we open above 138.69. I do think we have room up into that 148.35 area, given that if NQ trends and follows through, this is a name after its earnings that could bounce back and see people remanage their positions here if this gets any movement to the upside. So ideally over 138.69, but if we open down here, 135.26 is of watch here on Monday. And then the last one, this one's been one that we've traded quite a bit lately, and it's going to be Tesla. Now, not my favorite action to try to rally higher and fail, but it comes with the fact of saying that the market ended up rolling over a little bit too. But we're retesting the prior top of this base here. And this was the day to take this move here after this base breakout last Tuesday. Phenomenal setup here on this move right here. We get this base, we get this gap, we don't draw down any off the opening print, and then boom, we rally. That is what I'm going to be watching here on this retest of this. So back over 351.67, looking for this to be nothing more than a series of the higher low in this trend, holds up over here, puts in the higher low right here, and then rips and rallies to the upside. And on the weekly chart, what would even make it better is if we just quickly swipe these lows here and quickly reverse back, it would be that failure, and everyone would think, oh, this is the lower high right here for the trend resumption lower, trap people in, and then rally and rocket this one higher. So 351.67, watching that to hold, to test up into 374s up here this week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let us know down below what you're watching, and as always, stay safe and trade smart. Thank you.